Yeah, so thank you, Vaidotas, for joining us online. Greetings from rainy Riga. So the stage is yours. Yeah. And don't forget the Slido. Yes, please.
Thank you, Gritas, for the greetings and also greetings for all the audience and to you from sunny Vilnius today. As you see in my background, sorry for me not having a presentation like my colleagues, but I will try to make it briefly, like to leave more time for questions maybe. And for me, it's a great honor to address you today and speak about Lithuania's ongoing journey in SOE's reform. Since 2010, we worked under the pressure to transform SOEs into a transparent, efficient, and of course, value-driven entities. This progress was spearheaded by the Ministry of Economy and Innovation, which has played a central role in shaping governance policies, drafting legislation, overseeing reforms, and of course submitting proposals to the government. As it was mentioned today, we have also the Governance Coordination Center. It is an analytical and good governance principles implementation center, so they are responsible for overseeing how all those policies are implemented into practice. So our reform, maybe I will make a quick journey, retrospective journey to our reform main points, started in 2010 following the publication of Lithuania's first annual review of state-owned commercial property, which analyzed the SOE performance based on, of course, 2009 data. This report revealed significant shortcomings in SOE's governance and what were the main findings. So first of all, the lack of clear objectives. SOEs operated in those times without strategic direction and coherent goals. There were information gaps, data on SOE activities and governance were neither systematically collected nor disclosed, and that leads to poor performance. Operational results were frequently fell short of potential and not ambitious. So the main reason for those, I think, was also insufficient management of the SOEs. So what key achievements we made to solve those measures in the process we call SOE reform? First of all, we implemented and not implemented but regulated by legal acts, because we are a legal country, all the main guidelines into government resolutions and laws and other legal acts. So in line with OECD recommendations and international good practices, in 2010, the government passed the transparency guidelines, which set the high transparency and accountability requirements for all SOEs. That was the first step in our journey. So after that, in 2 years period in 2012, ownership guidelines were approved. The ownership guidelines outlined the government's ownership policy for all SOEs, and provide decisions on the principles to be followed in defining strategic objectives and setting financial indicators, separated regulatory and ownership functions, formed boards and supervisory boards of SOEs. In 2015, we created nomination guidelines. Those guidelines formalized a transparent process for selecting boards members. So also they determined the composition of the collegial bodies of the SOEs and put into force requirements for candidates and so on. So for the last issue, we create, I mentioned before, there was a lack of clear objectives in SOE's management. So we created letters of expectations prepared by the shareholders. Those letters are like the main state objectives of the state are put in those letters. The essential recommendations on how to create those letters of expectations are set in the expectations guidelines. So they are also adopted by the regulation of the ministry. So the shareholders, basically, they are the ministries, could incorporate into their creation of the letters by those guidelines. So what are the results of that mentioned regulation and our legal acts? So first of all, we strengthened the board's independence. Independent board members numbers from 2012, there was like 6% board members on the boards were independent. And now in 2024, we have 65% of board members as independent members. Of course, each SOE which is responsible to form a board should have at least half of board members in the board as independent board members. Also, all the board chairmen are independent in our SOE's portfolio. We have no politicians and political trust persons on the board. Independent selection agencies also now handle headhunting process, and they are searching for candidates and submitting them to the election commission, which examines the candidates and proposes two or one best candidate for the shareholder to elect to the board. What else? Also, civil servants are now, as well as independent board members and other board members, are now paid for their duties in the boards. So that's a major change for their interest to participate at all in the boards, not only getting the duties and responsibilities, but also to get something in response. It's their salary. And the civil servants are also possible to participate in their separate process of election. So they are coming to the boards, they are elected to the boards as well as independent board members by separate nomination guidelines. So yeah, I mentioned about, I guess, letters of expectations. And as my other colleagues from Estonia and Latvia delegation mentioned their portfolio numbers. So in 2015, we had at least 130 SOEs, and nowadays we have 33 SOEs. And we made a lot of privatizations, restructuring, mergers, and in order to reduce those numbers. And at the last meeting at the OECD's, I was asked, I can't remember from which delegation, how many SOEs do we have now? So we answered that 33. And they told that it's a major improvement and a major achievement by reducing those numbers. So the main reason we reduced those numbers was in 2018 when we decided to apply to the OECD and to enter the organization. We merged 42 forest enterprises into one forest enterprise, so that was a major change to reduce the numbers of our SOE's portfolio. We still have in Lithuania specific state enterprise legal form. It's not a company, it's state enterprise. So talking about upcoming plans on our reform, one of our goals is to get rid of that obsolete legal form, because the duties between responsibilities and duties between the board and the shareholder, also the CEO or that entity, is not very in line with the OECD best practices. So we still have at least 5 state enterprises. We reduced in past few years from state having 17 state enterprises. Now we have 5 state enterprises, but basically all the legal drafts are submitted to the parliament. As Rytis mentioned that we had election, we have government changes, but I think in the upcoming season in spring, they will put their attention to the changes to make it happen and to get rid of that state enterprise legal form. And of course, another goal is to clarify our portfolio and to decide which direction should Lithuania go, talking about Lithuanian centralization of Lithuanian state-owned enterprise portfolio. So that will be on the desk for upcoming government to decide which direction we are going. Now we have 9 basic shareholders of our portfolio. Maybe we'll have less than 3, or at least 3, or maybe 1. Who else knows? So that will be a discussion in Lithuania for upcoming periods. So yeah, I guess that would be the key points for my topic.
Thank you, Vaidotas.